Well, thanks for having me back again. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's starting to make a little bit more sense as to how Palmyra can be just a really effective way to highlight and boost Sri Lankan business and to bring business to Sri Lanka, to bring business to MSMEs, to the plantations, to the people that make the Ceylon tea trade, the cinnamon tea trade, make coconut products, make all these wonderful things that Sri Lanka is so famous for. So, my apologies, but like I said, I'm not very good at speeches, so I have to look at my notes so I don't make too many mistakes. Just bear with me for 1 second. Technology is a vice of mine. It's not a good thing for me. Well, so again, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for coming, and especially our guests, our distinguished guests, Honorable Lohan Rawate, the State Minister of Plantation Industries, Mr. Niraj Demel, my apologies, Chairman of Sri Lankan Tea Board, and Mr. Lionel Hirth, Chairman of the Sri Lankan Tea Factory Owners Association. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming today. Okay, well, where do I begin? I guess I should start from where, my humble beginnings. And so Sri Lanka is really all about opportunity inclusion. When I always had a special place in my heart for Sri Lanka. I was always been very fascinated with the culture, the history, the various different things that make Sri Lanka what it is today. It's a rich, robust country that just brings that brings so much to the world, and just really has a special place in my heart. Now, myself, I was born and grew up in Soviet Ukraine during the Soviet times, during the Cold War. Born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s. And we immigrated to the United States when I was 12 years old. This is why I sound American. Although I'm not born American, I am now American. Well, I'll tell you, we left the country with nothing. We came to the U.S. with nothing. And we really pursued the American dream, or what's called the American dream. And that is basically having a level playing field to be able to succeed. And that's what it's all about. And I saw my father go from pretty much zero, right? So we came with no money, came with no English. My father was 44 years old when he came to the U.S. And from that, he built up his American dream. He made it. He's retired now. He was a chief architect for Unisys, really robust career. He made it in the American dream. Now, well, that got me thinking, if we can do it, then why can't everybody do it, right? Why can't everybody, if you have a level playing field, if you have opportunities that you're included in, why can't other people that are born in the United States achieve that same American dream? Well, and that got me thinking about opportunity inclusion and what exactly that means. And so fast forward some years later, I started working in the IT business during the dot-com boom, which then proceeded to be the dot-com crash. Maybe some of you might remember that still back in late 90s, early 2000s, and the explosion of the internet. And so throughout the years, I was kind of trying to find what it is that really makes me feel like it is my life's work. And I found my life's work later, fast forward probably about 20 years almost. I was a developer, I was a business developer, I was a CTO, I've worn many hats. And but what I really found where I really found my life's work was in the decentralized ledger technology field. I was fortunate enough to be on the founding team of one of the largest decentralized ledgers in the world called Cardano. I am also a strategic advisor to the Ergo ecosystem, which is another decentralized ledger technology. These are world leaders. These are paradigm-shifting technologies. These technologies are made to really bring socioeconomic change to places in the world that have not had the opportunity to experience it for various different reasons. And it's all about banking the unbanked. It's all about connecting the unconnected. That is what the movement is about, and this is why it gave me great passion. Now, I worked for the Cardano ecosystem for a long time, almost 7 years, and throughout that time, time and time again, working with developing economies, and I worked with a good number of developing economies because that is where the change usually is the most needed. Working with the developing economies, I always came back to the fact that one of the key reasons that people are being held back is because of opportunity exclusion. They don't have the opportunity to access the same markets, to access the same technology, to access the same possibilities as the rest. And I'm not talking about leveling the playing field where everybody has to start from the same place. No. I'm a realist. And I believe that it is not fair to put everybody on the same level. It is only fair to provide the opportunity for people to succeed and then have the people make their own choice to succeed or not to succeed. That is what opportunity inclusion is all about. So working in developing economies, I've worked with regulators, I worked with communities, I worked with governments in Eastern Europe and Asia, South America. And what that really taught me is that these are really complex issues. And there is a lot of work, right? So it's not just this one thing and everybody, you snap your fingers and everybody will get it tomorrow and everybody's gonna be included in this thing and everybody's gonna use it and everybody's gonna be happy. That's not gonna happen. Again, reality. But what you have to understand is that it will happen if you just keep at it, if you keep showing, educating, and working with the jurisdictions and the people that can most benefit from this. Now, one of the most attractive things about working with developing economies is that while a lot of times they have they're set back because of various reasons, because of infrastructure issues, because of technological infrastructure issues, so things that for one reason or another haven't had the time to develop as much as the developed economies have. The developed economies, they spent billions and billions and billions of dollars in infrastructure, right? To have these systems that are just, these giant healthcare systems, these giant exchanges, all this technology, all this banking juggernaut. What happens though is that the developed economies have a problem pivoting because all the money that was spent on these giant infrastructures, of all the people that are involved in the now that really are comfortable in the now. And so change, even though for the people change would make a lot more sense, these people that are working within the machine, it's not as easy for them to pivot because it would mean change for them. It might mean threats for them, right? So that is what developing economies have over developed economies, and that is you are a lot more open to shifting to make yourself better, to rise like the phoenix, as Colin mentioned, to be able to leapfrog by using these technologies that we're utilizing with Palmyra, and to really, by this leapfrogging, to bring yourselves on the cutting edge of technology without having to fill in all these gaps with legacy technology that will be obsolete. It will be obsolete. They'll have to spend billions and billions of dollars more to update it. While if you leapfrog, you're right in front, you're utilizing decentralized technology, you minimize your infrastructure, you minimize your overhead, and you are ready to leap ahead. So, and that is really what the ethos of Palmyra is. What my team is building is, it encapsulates this vision. And what that also means is that I have to have a team in Sri Lanka. We have to be here. We have to talk to the people on the ground. We have to talk to the tea factory owners. We have to talk to the plantation owners, the people who are creating these commodities, so that the experience of utilizing the platform is going to be something familiar to them. Because opportunity inclusion also involves low barriers of entry. And working closely with the people that are going to be utilizing the system will lower these barriers. So we will work with you. We want your help to understand what nuances the business or your businesses have. What are your pain points? What are your goals? What things have been done right? And we want to incorporate it into the user experience of the system so that the system acts as it should to bring opportunity to Sri Lanka, to be able to access world markets, and to bring capital into the country. Because this country is thriving. I've been here for 2 days, and I'll honestly tell you, like I said, I've always loved Sri Lanka for various reasons. Various reasons. And, but the news just makes it out to be like it's, oh, Sri Lanka, there's all this stuff happening here. I had a few people ask me, is it going to be okay? Are you going to be okay? You're going there? I'll be fine, okay? I come here, I look around, I see a country that, yes, has some difficulties, but the people are still passionate about the country. The spirit is still here. I can feel it. I can feel that walking down the street, that the people that are still here, you love your country. Regardless of what is happening, you still love your country. You still respect your country, and you still respect one another. And that is why I believe that, again, this country will prevail. It will succeed. And this is why I and we at ZenGate feel so fortunate to be able to really be here so early. And I do feel that we're early. I do feel that the world will discover Sri Lanka. I do believe that people will flock here. And when they do, ZenGate we're already here. We're early. This is really special to me. I feel so fortunate knowing that. So, I guess where do I go from here? The potential is so huge. Our mission is so much in line with what's going on in Sri Lanka, of bringing these services, bringing these opportunities, bringing these markets, this access to you, and letting you utilize this, and letting you decide how far your business goes, where you can do and where you want to do and don't want to do business. It is up to you. It shouldn't be up to some people in a dark room or somebody up way above that you can't get a hold of. It's all about being in an environment of trust where you don't need trust because it's a trustless environment. A trustless environment is truly an environment where you can succeed because all you have to do is trust the ledger. You don't have to trust the other person that you're doing business with because of the technology. The technology is behind you. That gives you an enormous ability to expand your business, to not worry about overhead, to not worry about these things that you worry about right now. And let's see. Let me see what Sam, the guy that you saw on the screen before, Sam Lambert, he wrote me a speech. I have this whole speech right here. It's beautiful. It's so eloquent. I think I think he's gonna be really mad at me because I probably went through about half of it, and the other half I just kind of came from the heart. But let's just, I'll just like to read you what Sam wrote, and this actually came from the entire team. This is why I'd like to read this to you in closing. And so what everybody says is the magic of the systems that we build and engineer is that everybody has a say, no matter where they come from or who they are. And everybody has a seat at the table and being able to decide the trajectory of their life and to keep fruits of their labors. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your support. And as I said, I feel lucky about being here, and I feel so invigorated about working in Sri Lanka. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for those enlightening words, and he deserves a bigger round of applause for him choosing Sri Lanka as a pilot initiative of this project.